Shalom. Call Halalyam, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, by Sham, Qadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners, and to the Aquaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother MALCHAAMAH from the branch of the Greatmillstone here in Chicago. And I'd like to first thank all those who've given alms and gifts and things of that nature. It was greatly appreciated. But yeah, this is a article that I'm starting out with the Washington Post. And if you look at the top, it says, "Democracy dies in darkness." I mean, this place really truly is over. The name of this article is "The World is Realizing the U.S. is no longer committed to basic standards of decency." All right. So let's dive into this article just a little bit. It says, not so long ago, asylum seekers turned to the United States seeking refuge from representative states. Now the United States is one of the most repressive states. Repressive. All right. The gist of Canadian federal court ruling, which could scrap 16-year-old bilateral treaty called the Safe Third Country Agreement, under which Canada and the United States each recognize the other as a safe place to seek refuge. Justice Anne Marie McDonald ruled that Canada, and notice Anne Marie McDonald, a judge. You know what? Let me grab a quick scripture, man. See, the problem goes right here. You know, it starts, Esau does everything backwards and opposite of the Bible, even though they swear in on one. And basically, you know, are just hypocrites, because supposedly this was a Bible-based country and our government was supposedly biblically based. But that seems not to be the case. All right. And it reads, this is 1 Timothy 2, and I'm start at verse 10. "But which becometh woman, professing godliness with good works," Judge Anne Marie, "and you men who put her there. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp the authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression." All right. "Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith, in charity, and holiness, and sobriety." So that's only if you being faithful to the Lord. And if you have a man, you're being faithful to him. If not, you got nothing coming but death and destruction, man. And that's the real, that's where we at, man. That's where we are. All right. But it says, ruled that this woman ruled that Canada's practice of turning back third country refugees who try to cross the official points of entry along the U.S.-Canada frontier on the theory that they have already reached a safe harbor in the United States no longer makes sense, given the atrocious treatment to which they are subjected south of the border. Canada, she wrote, can no longer turn a blind eye to the reality that the United States denies decent and dignified treatment to asylum seekers. Look, the United States doesn't give decent and dignified treatment to its own citizens, especially those of the tribes. And it's just going to show you that the nations of the world, they're tired of you, man. Justice McDonald based her ruling party on a testimony from asylum seekers who describe conditions, harrowing, but like horrible, conditions of confinement in U.S. detentions, to which they are automatically taken, then turned back, and then when turned back by Canada. One of them, a refugee from Ethiopia named Nidra Jamel Mustafa recounted what she called a terrifying, isolating, and psychologically traumatic experience at a freezing facility where she was held in upstate New York. Other testimony and Canadian court provided evidence that detainees in U.S. facilities were denied access to counsel, phone calls, translators. Some were subjected to solitary confinement and rape and all sorts of other things. Not to mention that the pedophilia and the sex trafficking. So let me grab a couple scriptures, man. Then we're gonna go to a quick video, because this place, you Edomites in America are being found out, man. That's what's going on here. This is Habakkuk 2:16, and it reads, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahawah's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory." So the Lord is going to release the right hand power. That's Yahawashi, man. He's going to give him the green light, and shame is being spewed on your glory, man. That's why your statues are being brought down. Your dirty laundry from your past that you covered up, the true history is coming out. You're being embarrassed and you're being ashamed, man. All right. One of those things that I would bring out till there's no more breath left in me, or I get beamed up or laid down, whichever comes first, is the fact that you labeled yourself white, and the evidence of that is been brought out. All right, you just liars, man. This is Obadiah 1 in verse 2, and it reads, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen; thou art greatly despised." And you Edomites are the true minorities in the world, man, and you are greatly despised, right? Because you raped, robbed, pillaged, and murdered and abused all the other nations of the world. All right, none like the Israelites, but yet you have as bad as the Israelites, but nevertheless you have, man. And it's amazing too how much of the world knows that you actually aren't the Israelites. They know that you're not Jews, but see, you hold all the power, man. Let's go. Because the earth was given into thy hands, man. But that time is coming to an end. You've been exposed. And a proof of that, because these Christians and these apologists, the Edomites have been done away with and all that. No, the Lord said he was going to deal with you in the end of the days. The prophecy said, Vocab Malone and others like him, that the Lord had to take power from Esau, Edom in the end of the days. So when and how and where was the place? What we ask you all the time, where the Edomites were done away with. When and where did that happen? But this is Exodus 17:16. For he said, because Yahawah have sworn that Yahawah will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So that means Amalek is still here, and who Amalek is in control of the world. He's the first of the nations. All right, the scriptures clearly say he's the first of the nations, man. Meaning he will be on top. All right, they are the first of the nations. They will be in control. They would have the power. So who runs the Federal Reserve and the World Bank? What particular group of people? Because those particular banking organizations dictate policy over governments, man. All right. This is Jeremiah 49 and 10. And it reads, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. And man, that's going to be a beautiful day and a great time. And that time is close at hand, man. You Edomites, your days are numbered, man. And let's go to a video real quick. Here, Australia goes full. Let's adjust this camera. I don't know why that thing's so stiff. Alrighty. Let's click on it.
I'm shaking my head at what I just watched. And because of the language, I cannot show it to you. I can only describe it to you in a family-friendly manner. Melbourne, Australia, has gone full Gestapo, full totalitarian. The only thing they're not doing there is blatantly executing people on the side of the road.
That's coming.
You're not going to believe this story. And I've been telling you that what's going on there and in New Zealand is beta testing for what's coming here. And we've already seen it.
And we told you before he did.
We've already seen it with the totalitarian camps that Governor DeWine from Ohio is initiating, and he's being sued for, massively sued for. People aren't going to put up with this. People have gone along with the restrictions for the greater good of society. But there's a point when enough is enough. And what's going on has nothing to do with any virus or any other threat. It's just getting control of the people.
Exactly. And you got to remember, America is split up into 10 parts, just like the Bible says. All right. FEMA has 10 parts. All right. And they're going to control and utilize that against the people. And it's already set in place.
My name is Dave Hodges. I'm the host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show that is freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. And we are brought to you by preparewithdave.com for the very best in storable food. And I do mean the best. There's nothing that even compares price or quality.
Let's get past that.
MPS for this 25-year shelf. So the woman comes to a communist KGB old-style checkpoint. Do you remember those from your childhood? Those of you in my age range? I do. You used to couldn't travel 20 miles in the Soviet Union without going through a checkpoint. And so she had a mobile phone attachment attached to her windshield. And they said that that's too high up on the windshield. It obstructs your vision. She goes, no, I can see just fine. And then she offered to take the phone off of it. And that's not good enough. And then they drug her from the car. And I watched the events. What she's charged with does not match what happened on the events. They drug her from the car. They were on her so physically, these males who, I'm telling you, you guys who are police officers in this area, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. The way you're manhandling women who are no threat to you.
How many times have I done videos and told you that that was going to happen? Rise up, you women that are at ease. All right? And it's not just going to be lawlessness out here. These cops are going to form into gangs themselves to protect themselves and their interests. All right? And the very people that when these troops come and kick in your doors and start taking away to those camps, you best believe that these women will be being raped, gang raped by these law enforcement officials. Just like that video that surfaced a couple years back, that Edomite that forced that 13, 14-year-old black girl, so-called, face down and pulled her pants down just enough so he can rape her from the back while she was face down. And that's exactly what he did, and it's all on camera. All right, that video was even on YouTube for quite some time. I'm pretty sure they probably done pulled it down by now. But you best believe these. I've been telling you and warning you, all you promiscuous women jumping from man to man, that on that cock carousel. All right, the carousel is about to ride you. Right, you wanted to jump from man to man. Now these men are gonna jump on you. All right, in great numbers. All right, be prepared for what's about to come. And in some cases, it's gonna happen to some of you men too.
You should be ashamed of yourself. So these officers had their knees in her back, and she's screaming, "I can't breathe." She's lucky she's not dead. And then they continued to touch her. And you can hear her, "Get your effing hands off my body." So not only are they Gestapo and brutal, They're perverts. And they charged her without timely producing license and registration. Having a mobile phone holder too high up on the windshield, so that gets you drugged from your car and the literal you-know-what beat out of you. And what was it? $30,000 fine for the pregnant woman for inciting on Facebook. Oh, she's also charged for offensive language. How about your offensive knee in her back where she can't breathe? This is coming here, folks. We have to hope that we can sensitize our police in time, that they will not do that to us. This was totally unprovoked. It was totally unnecessary. I saw what happened on the tape. There is no excusing. The Gestapo is resurrected and living and quite healthy in Melbourne, Australia. And I, for one, have seen enough.
Hey, coming to a neighborhood near you. Like he said, these things that are happening in these other countries is beta testing for what's going to come to America. All right? And it reads, this is Matthew. The point that I'm reading is really in verse 12, but a lot of this is, I'm just going to start reading this. This is Matthew 24, which is really a prophecy of what's going on in the world right now. And it's only going to magnify itself and get worse. I'm going to start in Matthew 24 and 6. And it reads, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. What I just read is happening all over the world. Fires, famines, death, wars, and rumors of wars. Nations against nations. Nations that's been in unilateral operations now dividing and falling apart and on the verge of going to war with one another. Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. You just had a fire NATO. You got the 4 or 5 states on the West Coast that are all on fire. All right. Record-breaking, biblical proportion fires, man. At the same time, you got 2 hurricanes that are about to hit on the east at the same time. In the midst of a pandemic, famine, and semi-martial law, or low-level martial law, which is going to be raised here in America. Verse 9. Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And that's talking about the people of the Lord, man. Us, the people who believe and call on the name of Yahawashi, because we're the only true threat in this wicked place, because we're the only ones giving you the truth of what's really going on. And one thing that the Esau does not want is well-informed and enlightened citizens. And we inform and enlighten the citizens as to what really is going on, and they hate that. And like it says, they hate them that rebuke in the gate. All right, and we rebuke in the gates weekly, daily, through these video epistles. All right, and then it reads, and verse 10, then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And man, it's a gang of them out there. Right now, Vocab alone and his apologetic army is some of the main ones. Not to mention some of these Israelites out here who teaching these bugged out doctrines and denying that the chip is a mark of the beast. All right. And verse 12. And because of iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right, so the people are going to really do their brother and their sister and their neighbor, all right, and the strangers around them wrong as times get more desperate, man. And verse 13, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So you Christians, man, ain't nobody saved until we get to the end, all right. So with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah, Qadash, Wa ababa ba. Shalom. Kwam Yasharala.